Welcome to Ethernal Realms and welcome to this reading. We will see how you can manifest your ideal career life. We have pile 1 over here, pile 2, pile 3 and pile 4. Make sure to choose your reading with your intuition. If you're not sure how, you can visit the video in the ribbon above and it will walk you through it. And once you've made your choice, you can check your reading in the timestamps in the description box and the comment below. Whenever you're ready, we will get started. Hi pile 1, welcome to your reading. In this reading we will see how you can manifest your ideal career life. Let's get into it. We will see your tarot, get into your oracles, and then we get into the astrology. So we have Page of Cups coming up first. Okay, then we have the Four of Pentacles. Okay, then we have the Strength card. Okay, that's very nice. And we have the Eight of Pentacles. Okay, so a couple of messages coming through already. Okay, the Page of Cups talks about using your imagination and using your hopes and dreams to move yourself there. Okay, so not ignoring what you actually want, but actually tuning in even deeper to understand what the actual thing it is that you are seeking or desiring to create. Because sometimes it can be a very simple feeling, but that we're trying to cultivate, but the outside can kind of complicate the way that we showcase it. For example, happiness is a very, very simple state of being, right? But we usually complicate that by saying that we need this and that and this and that and this and that to be happy, right? We make our own journey very, very long and difficult when we don't just get to the simple part quicker. And that usually is summarized by saying that happiness is a state of being, not an eventual outcome of something. So Page of Cups is basically reminding you that you have that imagination to make anything possible for you. And Page of Cups is a very strong manifester. They don't realize that, but they definitely are a very strong manifester because they're very connected with the universe already. Pages are connected with innocence and believing in things. And when you believe, things happen. That's why when children are wishing and wanting for something and they put their entire heart and soul into it, they put their thoughts into it, they're totally driven in a very focused manner to achieve their object of desire or their lifestyle choice or whatever. Like if they want to play, they're going to play, and no matter what happens, even if they get scolded, they are still going to play, right? So that kind of focus where you're seeking a certain feeling, you make it happen because you believe it can happen, not because you feel like it is going away if you don't chase after it, right? It's that one background thought of whether we are blocking it from happening ourselves or are we really, for real, kind of open to the opportunities. Next, we have the Four of Pentacles, which says save up. That could be one solution. That way you can shift to another thing that you are more inclined towards, or it can be that, you create a more flexible schedule where you can work on things that you are passionate about. We'll get to that in a bit. But another meaning that's coming through from this card is that you're selling yourself short or you're keeping yourself in a comfort zone while dreaming of wanting to break free. And take that as it resonates, okay? Two different messages coming through here. But with these butterflies here, what it shows is that, of course, make sure that you have your stability, but don't cling to the stability so much that freedom is impossible. Okay, it's kind of two sides of the coin where we want to have that balance and everyday comfort and everything to be sustainable and the same and stable, all of that. But on the other side, we want change and dynamic and excitement and flourishing and openness, freedom, all of those things. And it can seem as though one contradicts the other. So are there some sort of contradiction in the backdrop of your own mind that is inhibiting from more coming in? Because what I'm seeing so far is that pages come with that, what's your raw intention? What's the intention behind the intention? And that can be a trigger in what actually comes towards you. It can be that the changes want to come in and that the income sources are coming in a way that you want it to come in, but you might not believe it yourself that it is possible. Okay, and that's where the internal conflict again happens. And it happens for like many people, so there's nothing wrong about that. It's a matter of time. It's just important to keep at it to transform these issues, or not, I'm not going to call it issues. It's not really, it's quite a legit concern to have stability, right? But if we want to manifest breaking free, then seeking stability at the same time can be a contradiction if you believe that is a contradiction, right? There are people who can believe both, go hand in hand, but Four of Pentacles can talk about that kind of duality coming very straight up on your face here, okay? But definitely there can be a desire to break free from the everyday constraints or the duties and obligations of the tasks that you have every single day. Pages say that is absolutely possible. Now, strength. Coming to that, it indicates that you have, again, you're selling yourself short. You are capable of so much more, so much more. Strength is the ultimate major arcana strength, where it doesn't matter what comes in front of you, you can still persevere, you can still achieve all of your goals. It's about the passion, the willpower, the drive, the desire to make something happen, and aligning that with your deeper intentions, and aligning that with your future goals and wishes as well. The strength really talks about not making decisions from an egoic standpoint alone, okay? It's very nice to have desires. There's nothing wrong with that. Everybody has it. So there's no point in shaming all of those things, right? But it says that not only from the egoic standpoint is it going to be fulfilling for you. Is it going to be, opening you up to new experiences, new exciting endeavors, new connections, and so on, or whatever it is that you need to feel that sense of fulfillment. Regardless, at the bottom line, strength talks about working with the deep desire and fueling, using that as fuel, i.e. being passionate about something. And one thing I can get is perhaps you're interested in some artistic endeavors or something more creative, performance arts, for example, because this is connected with Leo, and this here talks about dreamy, imaginative Pisces. So yeah, these can be some things you're interested in, but you might worry that it might not offer you a lot of stability, but it does give you freedom. But you do need stability, so what about your freedom? I'm getting that kind of loop taking place here. But yes, it is absolutely possible to break free from this loop. Now, Eight of Pentacles talks about increasing your mastery and your skill, developing your craft, whatever it is that you actually want to be doing. Once again, it doesn't matter what the label of the profession is. I just gave some indicators, but it can be related with finances as well, by the way, because we have two pentacles going on here. But apart from that, whatever it is, the feeling that you're looking for, work on that feeling first. Then work on the things that align with that feeling. For example, you want to feel artistic and free, right? Let's say you want to feel free. So creative self-expression is a perfect way to get that feeling going. Even if you don't want to be a graphic designer or an artist at the end of the day, that activity is aligned with that particular feeling that you're trying to cultivate. What that does is brings in more opportunities along your line of work that can bring in more, freedom, more flexibility. Eight of Pentacles talks about lifestyle choices. It also talks about routines. So maybe there are certain spaces within your time of the day that you can prioritize your needs. And for example, if you want to develop on something, you can work on that in the weekend or after your everyday work. It depends on what you are actually trying to do. Sometimes you're tired, so it's understandable. Okay, don't beat yourself down if some days you can't. But the point is that you will it, you intend for it very, very strongly. Again, strength, we keep coming back to that. What else am I getting? yeah, developing the craft over time. It's not about, you know, how much can you do every single day. I'm not saying like spend 1 hour of something. That's not being asked of you here. It's really about spending 5 minutes or 10 minutes, perhaps during transit, if you travel to your work, or if you finish early, then maybe spending half an hour afterwards to do something else. When you are taking a shower, perhaps you read something or listen to an audiobook that enhances your skill. You know, there are various ways that you can approach this, but it's about breaking out of the norm, about you know, breaking open from a cycle that is going to help open up more opportunities. And it's not that you don't have the skill, okay, or that you are not capable of. That's absolutely not the concern. You definitely can, you definitely will. It's just a matter of, do you want to enough? Okay. And if you don't, that's also fine. Like that, it's fine. You know, everybody has their own pace, their own speed, their own time, whatever it is. Like, it's fine. Whenever you're ready, just know that you can. All right. Then we have dark energy, which symbolizes a lot of potential. This literally is kind of the majority of the universe, right? It talks about the mysteries, things that have not yet been discovered but are waiting to be discovered. And again, it symbolizes that there's an entire world out there that is going to be very liberating for you and also exciting at the same time. And it's understandable. It can feel a little bit scary when we're stepping outside of our comfort zone. But if you want some changes within your career world, in your career lifestyle, then there is going to be some changes in the type of work you do, or the type of people you associate with, some sort of change in that particular arena, which would need you to step outside of your comfort zone. And what this says is that don't be afraid of the dark. It's full of potential. Once again, the universe is literally infinite. It literally is infinite. So, you know, anything is possible. Then we have protoplanetary disk, which again embraces creation, okay? Using your raw materials and things that you already have at your disposal, the resources you already have right now to make something new happen, okay? Using the things you have to do something creative out of it. You have 10 minutes. Okay, how can you creatively use that 10 minutes to your advantage to meet these desires and wishes that you want to cultivate for yourself in your life? Yeah. All right, then we have the duck, which says find comfort and balance in simple ways. You have support all around you. Yeah, it kind of goes with that universe is infinite topic that I was talking about, and also correlates with the Page of Cups, indicating that, you know, the universe has got your back. It's literally all around you. It's everywhere, in you, around you, everywhere. So, you know, you're definitely very much supported, and Page of Cups believes in that it is absolutely possible. And it really emphasizes this duck that balance and comfort is found in very simple ways, which again says you don't have to do or take very drastic measures, but you can make small changes that will eventually make very large changes. Okay, then we have the flicker, which says new rhythms are coming into your life now. You are encouraged to trust and adapt. Absolutely. This can again talk about a difference in lifestyle, which changes your mindset. Okay, well, usually when our mind is what is holding ourselves back, then we just need to go and do the action. That's it. Okay, don't think about it, just do it. Just do what you want to do. And then you say out loud that, hey, I did this, okay? But I feel free, or I feel stable, I feel secure, I feel happy. Say it out loud, and then over time it is going to get more instilled in the mind that, okay, I am happy and I can do this, I can do whatever I want. And at the beginning it might feel a little bit hesitant, or, you know, it might revert back to the old ways, and that's completely fine. Again, embrace the process. It's fine, you know. Let's go with your own pace. So new rhythms are coming in inevitably. Like I said, there are opportunities and choices that are open already, but more will try to keep coming as you keep wishing more and more. Okay, once again, you're not running out of opportunities. There will be new ones. There will be other places and people that you meet. And that can help you, again, get to your goals. So you're encouraged to trust and adapt indicates that when something new comes along, don't say no. Once again, trust your intuition, okay? I will always say that as a disclaimer. Your own life, your own choices, your own intuition, never ignore those things. They're obviously a lot more sacred. But this just says that trust in the opportunities that you feel are right. Don't block yourself from approaching those things and daring to go outside of that comfort zone. That daring, brave, courageous quality that I'm talking about, that's the strength card here. If you believe like you have saved enough and that you've worked for very long already and that you're ready to take on something new here, then strength and page is basically encouraging you that now is the time. Go for it. Break out of a rut, basically. Okay? Then we have... okay, let's just do this. We have Uranus, which is rebel, reform, unpredictable, and eccentric. Then we have midheaven, which says individuality, career, goals, and public life. Interesting. We're talking about career and we get that card. Then we have the 9th house. Okay. Teaching. For some of you, it can be teaching or researching that you might find interesting, or taking on a course, higher education, that can help you again meet different people from diverse backgrounds, perhaps going abroad to study, or taking courses abroad where you can again come in contact with people who are from different backdrops, and that can open up your world completely, and perhaps you might encounter different opportunities that you could not previously imagine. Uranus indicates a very spontaneous movement. It's a sudden realization. So and also it talks about the power of the mind. Like once you know, you can't unknow. Once you believe in something, you won't unbelieve it, right? So unless, of course, again, something Uranian drastic happens. But apart from that, we keep to our belief system for lifetimes if we don't work on those things, right? So it indicates that taking these little steps is amounting to a much bigger change, inevitably, okay? So keep making the small changes and it will make that bigger change that you want to see outside. It's inevitably going to happen. Now, this midheaven here indicates that perhaps you want to change your reputation, or again, how you want to be recognized. If you're, for example, a data scientist right now and you want to be an artist here, I'm taking that example because we have these two cards here, but again, it does not have to be. A leadership role perhaps is also possible with the 9th house. So you want to take up a leadership role, you don't want to keep doing the same thing or be answerable to the same types of people, then perhaps there is a need to break out of your regular workplace, perhaps go somewhere else, meet different people, like I said, or again, becoming a student again in order to become a teacher or a researcher, or to explore other work environments. So that midheaven talks about what are you known as in society. Changing that up can help you feel different about you. Being a student again might make you feel very free and liberated once more, like you have so many options available. It's like I said, it's a state of mind. Whatever we keep feeding to ourselves is what we will keep experiencing, regardless of what our external circumstances look like. And when we think something often enough, the outside is going to reflect the same thing back to us. Okay, what else? Immigration, visas, and legal procedures are also related with the 9th house. Perhaps that is also something that interests you. 9th house is also about philosophy. Learning more through your own life, because honestly, I always say this, like, life is the greatest teacher. Okay, of all the teachers I've met, perhaps I've been unlucky with the teachers I've met, but I've learned the most from life itself, just by observing the patterns in life. Okay, and spirituality, religion, all of these things also come under this. Perhaps, the higher influence, connecting with the universe itself, connecting with God, whatever you want to call it, can help you create more radical changes or help you recognize the opportunities when they are in front of you. Okay, yes. All right, then we have the vision. That's very nice. These two owls are reminding me of the Hermit and also the Queen and King of Swords. This indicates, again, setting your sights high and not selling yourself short. It's possible for you to achieve your wildest dreams. Okay? It's if you can see it, if you can envision it, if you can see that, yes, that's something, I can almost feel it, I can almost taste it. Those are the things that are connected with the vision. You can dream it, you can make it happen. If you don't dream, you can never get to that point, right? You didn't even start the process, so how can you? So the vision indicates that use your intelligence, your intuition, your skills that you have, knowledge, experience, everything that you have amassed so far to create something that fuels you towards that ideal vision of yours, and believe that it is absolutely possible. And it will be. Then we have the ring, which it's that perpetual cycle thing again. Everything is cyclical. It all goes kind of, we learn something, we practice it, and then we're over it, and then we move on to something else, and so on and so forth. The cycle continues. It talks about the death and rebirth, but it's more than that. It's that regardless of the temporary pause and the temporary beginning, we are ultimately always eternal. And that connects with the infinity of the cosmos once more. So it says that if you want to create something, these are some created, circumstances. We believe a certain way that we have to do a conventional something, so we do the conventional something, right? But if we believe like we don't have to do it, then we don't do it. That's it. It's what we believe for us to be possible, to be capable of. And if we don't like what we see as an outcome, then we can change the way that we want to perceive things, or the things that we want to experience, and then we can change the cycle altogether. It doesn't mean that we abandon all of our experiences. That never happens. We still take our wisdom, the wisdom from those experiences with us, but then we're up-leveling to a different cycle. So this cyclical process, embracing that iterative process, is going to be super useful as well. So if you're working on something, it doesn't work out, it's fine. Work on something else. See what worked. Take that with you to the next step. Try something else. Try something else. Keep on trying. One thing after the other. It's one little change every single time. It's not throw the baby out with the bathwater. No, it's just little changes every single time that will make a very strong, measurable difference in the long run. And again, with Uranus, it feels like it's just one click. It's one decision. You're one decision away, I feel, in making something happen. So here, if you have saved up enough for that, you can get loans and investments, for example, then you can go and study abroad. Right? And that can change your entire worldview instantly. The moment you enroll, it becomes real. All right, okay. Then we see your astro dice. Tile one, please. Ideal Korean life. Ideal Korean life. 10th house, Scorpio, and North Node. All right. A degree in psychology, perhaps. Something esoteric is as well connected with that. 10th house is related with our career, profession, and our public image. So how do we show up in the world? Who are we to others? Now, Scorpio is talking about the death and rebirth cycle we were seeing earlier, and it also relates with transformation and connects with this metamorphosis of the butterfly. So stepping outside of the comfort zone, even if it seems a little bit scary in the beginning, it is deeply empowering and fulfilling once you cross over that fear. So don't respond to the fear, because that's like strictly egoic. And like I said, with the strength there, we cannot respond. We need to acknowledge the ego, but we can't only respond to the ego, right? Just like the spirit is not the only one making decisions. It needs to listen to what the body wants, what the desires of the human being is, and so on. Nothing is going to work by itself and also expect to grow in a balanced manner. So yes, we need to pay attention to what our deeper intentions are, what our desires are, and we need to work accordingly. There's no point in kind of, how do I say this? I said this already before, but if you don't feel up to it, if you're not feeling ready for it, then there's no use in shoving yourself ahead and still being afraid. It's more important to deal with that fear first and kind of give yourself a pep talk, or just remind yourself of the reality of things and not the fear side of things. If there are some subconscious blocks that are stopping you, like I don't believe that I can achieve things or something like that, then we can work on those things. Scorpio inherently comes with that shadow being there, but also the ability to transform that shadow into powerful empowerment here. Okay, now North Node talks about life mission, focusing on that spiritual side of things, And again, connecting with the universe, that can be one of those things where you're manifesting and you're wanting the universe to show you the opportunities. It can also talk about stepping outside your comfort zone, which is rich with experiences, which can make you feel very strong. It's like, if I can do this, I will feel very strong and solid about myself and where I'm headed in life. That kind of feeling comes through here. So these are some indicators of how you can move around. But 10th house and Scorpio can definitely indicate that there is a change in profession or career that is being needed at this time in order for you to experience that lifestyle switch or that career life switch. Okay, so that's what I have for you, pile 1. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that it helps you out. Let me know your thoughts, and if you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box and the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye. Hi pile 2, welcome to your reading. We will see how you can manifest your ideal career life. Let's get into your tarot. We have the 7 of Pentacles coming up here. We have the Empress coming through. All right. Then we have the 9 of Wands. And we have the Ace of Pentacles. Okay. So the 7 of Pentacles can talk about being patient. Okay, that's one of the messages. But it also says that your efforts will bear fruit. So don't give up on those things. Anything you have attempted and have not yet seen results, it just says that it will show up and your efforts will be rewarded. Don't give up on those things. Don't falter. Don't get negative in the process. Keep nurturing it. Keep growing it. It is happening. The world, oh sorry, I said the Empress, I meant the world here. It indicates that there is a cycle that is being closed out here. And how do I say this? It's reminding me of, this is kind of the threshold breakaway point where we graduate from a phase of life and then we are rebirthed, and it's a whole new world. We can explore different options. We are different people. Our reputation is different, and so on. So that can come in the form of literally traveling someplace else to get inspired, or it can talk about meeting people from different parts of the world to get inspired. But either way, it talks about expanding and broadening the horizons. If you are in college, for example, then you might be graduating here, and that itself can bring in an ideal career life for you. The 7 of Pentacles, I'm also getting a sort of keep practicing, and that will make things perfect eventually. I generally get that message for 8 of Pentacles. That's how it's defined, but in this particular deck, I feel like 7 of Pentacles gives that vibe too. Now the Ace of Pentacles can talk about, I'll get to this one here, but Ace of Pents can talk about having another income source if you already have one, or it can talk about getting a new job or a new source of income that can lead to a lot more flourishing. So kind of seeing what is showing future promise instead of seeing what is booming already. Okay. It also says that you have the potential, right? You have a lot of skills. So utilizing those skills and growing those skills is going to bring in more opportunities and more chances for you to have that ideal career life. Now the 9 of Wands indicates that perseverance is key. You are very close to the finish. So keep on persevering. Don't give up now. And you will find what it is you're looking for. The 7 of Pents and Ace is also giving me the vibe of prioritizing, because we really have to see what we are feeding to the plant, to our work, to our lifestyle, and so on, because that's what is going to be a part of the result, the ultimate result that we get out of anything. Okay, I'm also thinking of the word assessment, reevaluation, things like that. So yeah, you might need to assess what it is that you make a part of your reality, your world that we're talking about here, because Nine of Wands can sometimes be defensive, that I don't want to take help, I want to do everything by myself, and everything else or everyone else is the enemy. So in that case, you end up taking up more on your plate, on your shoulders, than you need to, even if there are other opportunities to lighten that load. And when we keep on this path, then that's when we get to the Ten of Wands, where we feel a little bit burnt out and tired. In some cases, that's really good, because we're working towards something that we really desire, and we don't care if we're going to be a little bit tired at the end. It's absolutely worth it. But when we are struggling and we are having to force ourselves get to that point, then we can experience a lowering of desires, and just a general sense of burnout and blah and heaviness, suffocation, that kind of vibe here. So if that's you, then this indicates that perhaps there are other people or other ways that you can shift things around, like I said, reprioritizing or getting other people's help, or a different income source, a secondary income source that can bring in some additional help, so that you don't have to feel like you're persevering so hard or you're fighting for something here. Okay. Okay, I want to clarify the world, please. Let's clarify the world. Okay, we have the Wheel of Fortune. Yeah, this can really talk about graduating, or like completing a cycle, if not a literal graduation. That is going to open up a lot of opportunities and connections here. There's luck and abundance that is around you, but it's up to you to take advantage of those things. Okay, so don't be defensive of the opportunities that can show up around you. Don't be so doubtful of those things, because Wheel of Fortune comes with, and also the world comes with, a sense of protection, that you are safe and you can trust the things that are directly being available to you, and these opportunities are coming in to help you out. So yeah. Now the aces also come with that little bit of a side message, or the warning, that this is just the beginning, and if you don't do anything about it, then the potential just remains as a potential. Nothing more tangible can come out of it, but it definitely shows promise to have something come out of it. For example, if you are fresh out of college and you need to make a lot of applications, but you're sitting on the applications, you have everything ready, but you've not yet sent them out, then how will there be a response? How will there be a further communication, right? So Aces here says that you have the potential, you have the abilities, you have every resource at your disposal ready to go, and you've worked very hard to make all of those things happen. You're almost here to the finish, to achieving that goal. So don't stop yourself there. Keep on going, because there's a lot of new growth on the horizon here. Aces can also talk about new habits that you are wanting to cultivate here, but perhaps might be inconvenient at this point in time, but nevertheless keep that in mind and try to apply that in whatever way that you can, given your present circumstances, and before you know it, there will be more openings that come in that help you establish it a lot stronger. Then we have the Wormhole. That's very awesome to get here. And we have Anomaly. Okay, so Anomaly talks about embracing your originality and not doing something by the book necessarily. It kind of depends on your circumstance again, so take that with a grain of salt. But regardless, even if you are working within convention, you can still do things your way in some measure. So Anomaly is showing yourself in that original light, or at least recognizing and seeing your originality. It kind of is reminding me of the Seven of Swords, which talks about that strategy, listening to your inner voice, and on the surface you might seem like one of the crowd, but in deep down you are something completely you, and you recognize it so clearly and deeply that it's hard for you to just mesh in with the general crowd. You can still get along, but you would rather be with your tribe, which might be something completely different than where you are. And Wormhole indicates that there's a shortcut and there is a quick route to get to your tribe, or to get to that ideal career goal here. And this can come through by embracing that originality and not resisting it. The Nine of Wands can come with that resistance a little bit, that, you know, I know what it is, but I really have to make this work, or this just has to work, kind of pushing against what is true. That's what makes the battle feel a little bit harder when we have that. But the world is like, the world is open for you. The world is open for you, and there are multiple opportunities and choices that you can bring into your web with the Wheel of Fortune, that can turn out in your favor in a very wonderful way. So yes, the wormhole says that there is a shorter way to do certain things. So yeah, what is it that you are spending a lot of your time on? We come back to the priority again, right? What it is that you're spending a lot of time on, is there a shorter way that you can do that? Perhaps a way that you can parallelly work on different things. I see these lines and it's like things happening parallelly, and while you do that, it seems like that one extra job that was going on the side, it does not need to be done, and all of a sudden you have more time free for yourself. You're more flexible to explore different avenues and options here around you. It can also indicate that perhaps you have again, I'm going back to the application example. It can be that, again, you might be making different job applications, or you're trying to find the second stream of income. But if you have like very wildly different, avenues that you're exploring, then the number of CVs you might have to make, or the other number of sign-up sheets and applications that you might have to make, is going to drain you out. It's taking a lot from you, right? So instead, narrow down the search based on the priorities, and again, short route, like what's the quickest way to get to where we want to go, not the longest way, not the right way, so to say, because that's honestly so subjective, right? So we want to see what is the best option for you, and sticking to that, it kind of always keeping that in mind to drill down your options at any given moment is going to free up a lot of time for you, I feel, and also reduce the amount of effort that you need to exert on these things, and therefore not lower your expectations, but you don't have so much pressure on the eventual outcome. It's like, with the Seven of Pentacles, we can't sit next to our plants and will it to grow and just sit there. It will grow at the pace that it will grow. That's it, right? It's something that is very natural. That's how it happens, and that's it. Our high expectations or our need for it to deliver right now is not going to change the eventual outcome of things, except that it just feels very pressured to us and also the plant on an energetic level. So yes, things will happen as they happen, but in the moment we can choose, like, to feed it fertilizers. For example, some organic fertilizers we can choose. Again, these are the choices that we make in the process that is going to decide whether the outcome we get is going to be, in a healthy, sustainable manner, or it is going to be just, it's just out of the ground and now it can't bear fruit. Sometimes, some seasons it grows, some seasons it does not. We don't want that. We want something more long-term, more sustainable, things like that, right? So yeah, shortcut does not mean that we skimp out on things. It's just the smartest way, the easiest way, the least resistant way that we can get to certain goals. And that includes making choices right now in this very moment of, is this necessary? Is that necessary? Do I need to do this right now? Does it need to happen right now, or can it be shifted to something else? Can it be omitted entirely? Is there a way that we can mix some activities together and we can make it more enjoyable for us, or we can make it a little bit less effort, right? Either way, it's a win for our own experience. All right, then we have the Magpie. That's awesome. We have reevaluate your priorities. Yeah, see, it is time to let go of what you no longer need. This is reminding me of overwatering. Like, plants need water, right? Let's just drench it. Let's flood it, right? It's not going to help. So it's not about pumping out a lot of applications or pumping out, a lot of, messages and contacts and so on. It's not about a lot. It's about just the right amount. And I know that can be a tough balance to find in the beginning, but this reading is basically urging you to find that little bit of balance, kind of strip down and release things that are literally, as the Magpie says, is not very needed at this point in time. Don't take on more pressure than you need to. Then we have White Eagle, which says the connection to divine guidance is within you. Yes, absolutely. This says trust your intuition. You already know these things, I suppose, and this reading here is serving as a confirmation instead of something brand new. And this says trust that inner wisdom that you have, that original thought and ideas that you already have. It's not something very weird and, it's something that you can't understand. It's quite intuitive, this whole process, whatever it is that you're wanting to create here. Is completely intuitive and completely yours to manifest, and it's absolutely possible to make it happen. But yes, in a practical sense, you need to strip down, narrow down, focus more, and then keep consistently delivering on those narrowed down options. All right, then we have Chiron, which says deep insecurity, spiritual strength, and rebirth cycles. Chiron is a very great teacher. There are a couple of messages already coming through, so I'm going to say it out. Chiron is a great teacher and is very wise and experienced. All right. So whatever it is that you have gone through in your moment of practice, growth, rebirth, changes, persevering, not persevering, whatever it is, there's a lot that you have learned already. And it's a good idea to take stock of those things, because you might add some priorities which are going to make things easier for you regarding the other things that you are doing. For example, recognizing your tenacity is going to make you not want to prove it again and again. Like, I'm perseverant. Yes, of course you are. You have shown that time and again and time and again. And of course you are very skilled, and you have a lot of opportunities that have come towards you because you are very skilled and so on. So you don't need to prove it. You don't need to, keep going after it again and again, trying to showcase that, yes, it is still possible. Trust in your ability, trust in it, and, have it be an automatic thing instead of something you're pushing towards, basically. Okay, Chiron gets a little bit insecure that, am I confident? Am I persevering? Am I strong? I need to show myself again. I know that in the past I was, but am I still? I need it to be true. I need that to be still true. But Chiron, when it switches its expression, is then like, I have proven it to be true time and again, therefore I'm going to trust in my own capability. Another message I'm getting is Chiron is the last step, okay? The last fear that we have before our wildest dreams come true. We stop ourselves at that last point. That's Chiron, okay? I'll give you my example here. I have it in my 11th house, which is about social media or like the network, or what would people say, that type of thing. It's like not friends, but like the larger community. So I do a lot of the work in the background, and I do a lot of creativity, but I have so much trouble just putting it out there. Just put it out there. It's already done, right? It's already done. And just recently I'm trying a little bit more of having that happen, but that's where my Chiron is. I'm like, I don't know how it will be received, but logically, if I think about it, it doesn't matter, because I know that I did my part well, and whoever resonates, they resonate, and if they don't, then they don't. That's it. It's anyway not in my control. It's not in my hands. I can't force something to happen, so I'm just gonna do my thing, and they're gonna do their thing. So be it, right? But even if I know that logically, that's where I stop myself from delivering something. So it looks like you've done a lot of work, and there's a lot of things that you do in the background, and you definitely, like I said, your skills are absolutely there, but you might struggle in pushing yourself beyond that last point. And Chiron says, it's okay. Despite it, go for it anyway. Go for it anyway. Don't expect hurt. I know it's easier said than done, I suppose. Don't expect hurt. It might turn out very wonderfully, and usually when we push ourselves beyond that Chiron point, it works out quite well, honestly. It is not an epic disaster. Okay. All right, then we have the South Node, which says past life, comfort zone, resource, instinct, and familiar. Yeah, this is exactly what I was saying here. We might, wherever our South Node is, we already know that we can do that. So for some reason, we just keep trying to keep proving it to ourselves that, yes, I still got it. How many decades? How many times? It is proven. Yes. Okay, done then. We carry that in our skill set and we take it with us to all of our new experiences. We won't lose our capability because it's so deeply ingrained in us when we talk about that South Node, okay? It is a comfort zone, and that's why we are more, inclined to working on those things. Meanwhile, the North Node, which is right opposite the South Node, is completely outside, and we're like, oh, I might not be able to do that at all. Then I will not feel good about myself, so I might as well not try. Instead, I will keep proving what I have already proven many times, and then feel happy that I have accomplished something in the thing that I have already accomplished something. You see? On the plus side, South Node is, again, it says that you already have it. So, time to release the attachment from this point. It's time to explore something brand new. It seems like it's saying, go for what is that last scary thing that stops you from achieving your goals. What is that last scary thing? Do that thing. That's what it seems like. Wow, okay. Then we have the moon, which says emotion, instinct, unconsciousness, and mother figure. It also relates with intuition. So that with the white eagle is again saying you have that feeling that you just gotta push yourself beyond that one point. And that world with the threshold word that I used is again coming around here. It's breaking out of a cycle, breaking out of that zone, and seeing that there's so much opportunity and flourishing, fulfillment, growth, and expansion that is available beyond that point, that it's unimaginable from this side in the comfort zone. Okay? So the moon here says, trust your intuition, trust that instinct, and I'm not going to say instinct, but intuition is really standing out here. Yeah. Okay. Now, when we move away from the South Node, this together is saying that when we move away from that, doesn't mean that we can't be in our comfort zone and that we constantly have to be out there doing scary things. It's not like that. We generally have our comfort zone, but we push ourselves to do the uncomfortable things sometimes. Okay? Whatever that last barrier is, that is needing to be done, but that doesn't mean that you're abandoning everything that you know of already, that you're, attached to already, and so on. All right? It's kind of making educated guesses. And the moon is again reminding me of the Seven of Swords for some reason, and it says, do what is very original to you. Your tribe is out there, and you can relate with people a lot more in this newer avenue. So don't be afraid, don't hold yourself back. Then we have the shapeshifter, which indicates adaptability, versatility. It's again trying something new, experiencing something new, and seeing that again you're so capable of trying out so many different things. So it can be a trial and error type of phase where you can identify what exactly you're trying to prioritize or what would be the shortcut, but you will eventually get to that point, so it's okay. Don't sell yourself short here. You're absolutely capable. It also says that you have many different skill sets, so all of that is going to be useful along your journey to finding this career path that is ideal for you. It also says kind of experiment and be curious and do things for the joy of it. You don't have to commit to something immediately. Just see what happens. That kind of vibe is coming through here. That again with the North Node is like just shoot your shot and then see what happens. See how it works out. It's fine. You're new at this. North Node is something that we are not already experienced in, so it can feel new and scary, but you don't expect a lot from a baby, right? Just like, hey, you try something out and see what happens. Then we have, wow, okay, so we have the threshold. I don't think I need to explain this further because we mentioned it so many times. I'm amazed. Wow, all right, getting chills. Wow. Wow. All right, and what else can I get for pile 2, please? How can they manifest their ideal career life? We have Neptune, Leo, and the 10th house. Again, the 10th house. First pile as well got the 10th. Now, Leo talks about showcasing yourself. Neptune and Leo is a very nice combination, I think. It's quite artistic. It's subtle. It's also about just putting that original voice out there. Leo is being proud of yourself, your own skills, trusting yourself, all of that. Not hiding in a place, not being defensive, but like shining out loud. And I see this fire here, which connects with the Leo. It's a fire sign. It's like showcasing your skills unabashedly. And Neptune can be trusting that intuition. See what is your right avenue, of course. It's not about yelling at everyone that you got this, but it's in the right places again. So I'm getting that prioritize, trust that intuition. If something doesn't feel right, if an opportunity is just not sticking well with you, and that even if you make the effort or the application, you still would not go for it anyway, then it's fine. You know, you don't need to go for that. But the things that you want, don't back out from those things out of fear or the fear of disillusionment or any of that, insecure state of being, basically. Leo definitely says, trust yourself, empower yourself, respond to your passions, and go for the career goals and just future goals that you have in life. Use your imagination and creativity to make something clever happen. Yeah, we did see that. This is kind of the Seven of Swords vibe that I was talking about here. They are very strategic. That card is strategic, it's creative, it uses like very quick movement, quick thoughts. It's not about like, oh, what can I do for the long-term planning? It's like, what can I do right now that is going to get me there? What can I eliminate right now to get me there? How can I embrace my original voice right now that is going to, empower me for the long run, and things like that. Okay, so that's what I have for you, pile 2. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that it helps you out. Let me know your thoughts. And if you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box in the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye. Hi, pile 3. Welcome to your reading. We will see how you can manifest your ideal career life. Let's get into your tarot, then we get into your oracles and your astrology. So we have the Three of Cups coming up first. Then we have the Two of Wands. We have the Queen of Swords. Yes. Then we have the Nine of Swords. There we got one extra card for you guys. So, all right. Then we have the Five of Swords. I think that's a Five of Swords, right? Yeah, okay. So, the Three of Cups says, this kind of sounds as if there is a need for some literal manifestation, kind of using affirmations, other techniques that you find appealing for yourself. Because the Queen of Swords talks about using your power of thought, intention, and words to make something a reality. It also talks about cutting down negative thought patterns. With the Nine of Swords there, it indicates anxieties, worries, insecurities, and other running, looping thoughts that you might have some trouble getting out of. That could be negatively impacting your general mood and your feeling towards your work life. So yes, the Queen of Swords talks about adopting a more long-term outlook, looking at your ambitions and aspirations, kind of noting how far you have gotten so far, where you were, where you are now, and appreciating the progress that you have made so far, kind of celebrating all the things that you have accomplished and so on. Of course, we can keep on doing better and we can, accomplish a lot more things, but it's also important to give thanks to the things that we have accomplished so far. So gratitude is one thing that's really standing out. Now the Five of Swords indicates picking your battles. Okay, not everyone is worth arguing with, or not every cause is worth pushing forward with. It's not about success in general, or that everything and anything is going to bring us to our destinations or our ideal life. But instead, Queen of Swords indicates, and also the Five, this talks about picking one that stands out the most, or like understanding what you're actually valuing by doing something in that way. So for example, if you want to have many conversations with people who have a lot of difference in opinions, then what is it that you're trying to accomplish from having those conversations? That's something to think about. If the answer is that you want to be known as a diplomat, or that you want to be able to know all the answers, then that's what you're looking for. That's what you need to seek more directly, instead of, seeking to answer other people's questions, because ultimately, there is always going to be a difference in opinion among different people. We all can't just believe the same thing, right? So there is no point in trying to bring us to that point in a collective, in a team sense, and instead appreciating your differences and learning from one another is one way to go. That can help you refocus your attention. That's the main message here, is where do you want to be headed? We need to focus more on that. Now the Two of Wands indicates that we are in a place which was a big world. It was a new world at some point, but now it is time to explore something that we are excited about. When you think about some option, what excites you and brings you a lot of joy, it can feel a little bit scary as to how you might go about doing that, because logically it might not make sense yet. But it is also important to not ignore that desire that you have. Two of Wands, I keep getting set your intentions, because the Queen can make it happen. It's about long-term strategy, okay? It's long-term thinking and planning, and not being limited by your current circumstances. There can be some things that are a little bit frustrating where you are right now, or you might just want something new, and relative to that, this current state might not be the ideal by any measure. But once again, Three of Cups reminds you the power of gratitude, and also setting your intentions on things that you do want. Don't look at things you don't want, because we keep focusing on those things. Then instead look at the things you do want and keep refueling that thought and idea. And then the opportunities will either manifest themselves, because Three of Cups talks about having external support, your connections and your network being very useful. So expanding in that manner can be useful here, or you might find it very eye-opening to connect with people from different spaces, different departments, different backgrounds, and so on. So that can show you many different opportunities for the future, which can lead to the lifestyle that you're wanting to cultivate through your career. Okay, I want to clarify, don't overthink it. That's something I'm getting with the Five of Swords and also the Nine. It's because it's about clarity of thoughts. That is going to lead to clarity of emotion and clarity of actions. So as much as you can, try to ensure those things. It will benefit you largely. Okay, let's see what else we have. We have expansion. Yeah, that with the Two of Wands is so appropriate. It talks about expanding your horizons, reaching out to people. Again, it can be expanding your position, your designation, look for other departments or other, leadership positions, perhaps a different role and responsibility. Maybe you still have to learn a little bit in order to do that, but you have enough expertise to, do the best that you can. Okay, so it's not about making wild choices necessarily. It's just different, stepping outside of something you're used to that can help you out. All in all, it's important to be in a good state of mind, good state of feeling as well. Emotion is basically energy in motion. So this emotion here with the Three of Cups, it's important to remind yourself of things that you're happy about, what you have accomplished. That's why I keep repeating that gratitude kind of gets you into that happy mood. The state of being is going to help you attract more positive connections and opportunities and just experiences in general. Okay, then we have stellar stream, which talks about that star support or cosmic support that you have. Three of Cups talks about your soul family kind of being there, your guides also being there to support you and guide you along the journey. But yes, if your mind is blocked, then they can't really communicate with you, right? That's kind of the tricky thing with spirituality, I suppose. So when we're here, is that we're very wrapped up in our everyday, actions, connections, behavior, and so on, that we can miss out on these subtle messages and voices that the spirit team uses to communicate with us. Okay, so synchronicities can come in, but we might miss out on that because we're looking at something else, and then we miss it, and therefore we need to wait for another opportunity, and they can hope that we notice it the next time. But regardless, they're still patient, and they still absolutely want you to have all the things that would make you happy. So just unblocking the mind, decluttering the mind. Declutter is something I hear. Yes, absolutely. Decluttering the mind and the space. Anything that is messy can be also leading to a blocked mind. So try to keep things as organized as possible. Queen of Swords also likes to keep things neat, orderly, efficient, organized, all of those things, and that way she gets everything done very quickly because her efforts are streamlined with her thoughts, and that's it. Her goals are hers. That's it. There's no overthinking there. There's nothing. Yep, that's basically what it's being asked of you. Then we have Bluebird, which says you are being gifted with blessings of happiness and peace. Awesome. So this is literally like, it's coming, it's happening. If you have already put your manifestations in place, then this says don't overthink it. It's fine, it's coming in its own right, in a perfect manner. And there will be new doors that open up. This Two of Wands here it shows a doorway, right? So it can be that something new is just opening up, and it's up to you to walk through it. And even the Queen of Swords is holding these two swords next to her. And that is also giving me the doorway look. Then we have, there you go. We have new opportunities and choices are opening to you now. Claim them with the Finch. Yes, expanding your horizons. I feel like this is something that's already happening. Okay, the only thing that is being asked of you is declutter the mind and the space, and stay grateful, and keep your eyes open, your mind open, because the opportunities are coming. Okay, the changes are happening. Okay, then we have Scorpio. Scorpio is very transformative. And we have the first house. Okay. Then we have the Medallion, which also talks about the decluttering, really. It talks more specifically that the objects that we have in our lives, that has some unconscious energy to us. So the memories that we attach with those things, or the circumstance under which we acquired something, that piece of clothing or that object can carry over some of that energy. And I mean that very literally. I had, for the first time ever, I had an unlucky top. Okay, and I could not believe it, because I did not believe in such things, but it definitely was the case that whenever I wore that and I went anywhere, I would have a bad experience over there. Or if I wore that and I was working, then my camera stopped recording, or something else went wrong, or something else, and it was just very frustrating. And I did not realize it until much later. I had like 3-4 such occurrences, and then I was like, what is with this? And then I remembered that when I was wearing that for the first time, when something very difficult happened in my life. So that shock and that surprise and that difficult emotion kind of stuck with that piece of clothing. Basically, it doesn't matter how many times I put it in the laundry, it just kind of stuck with it. So if there are certain objects like that, kind of evaluate what objects you keep around you. Some of them might have no memories at all, and that would qualify more as a dead weight, unless it is giving you some sort of functionality, of course. I'm not saying throw out your sofa or something, but other things which are just unnecessary, does not give you joy, things like that, they don't need to be there anymore. And it's natural to outgrow certain phases in life as well, especially the ones that you don't want to carry over with you into the next phase of your life. So it might be a good idea to transform your space and how you feel towards yourself, your own environment. Who are you now? How have you transformed? How have you grown? Appreciate and showcase those things. Scorpio in the first house is talking about that shift in attitude and perspective. It's about looking a little bit deeper. Are we the ones causing ourselves pain? Are we the ones who block our own mind? Is there a way that we can step out of it? Are we doing everything that we can to actually step out of that mindset? That's what Scorpio asks. And these are tough questions. And it's easier oftentimes to just ignore and just push it under the rug, but Scorpio hardly ever is satisfied with that. It's a very natural, spy, detective. It looks underneath the surface, it looks at the subconscious. So, even if we keep saying the words that, yes, I'm happy, if underneath the surface we don't feel happy, then Scorpio knows, right? So those are the things that need to be decluttered as well on a more deeper level. But yes, it can be that the external world, decluttering that itself can lead you to feeling a lot lighter than before anyway, or that your mind becomes more clear and understandable. Okay, so it can be little things, it can be a little bit bigger, depends on where you are in life and your circumstances in general. Okay, then we have the comic, which is such a fun card to get, right? This says have fun. Basically, have fun, spend time with your people, people that you resonate with, connect with the ones that you enjoy, and network with like-minded souls, spirits, whatever, and do something that you just enjoy. The Two of Wands can indicate just doing something out of the norm, something exciting. It can be exploring a world, different cuisine, for example, also. Or trying out a different comedy style, witty humor, things like that. And I see Scorpio there, so it might be dark humor as well. So laughing about the problems that you have, kind of taking away its power. That's, I think, the biggest gift that the comic gives us. It addresses difficult things, but it turns it around and makes it seem like, isn't it amusing? We do this through ourselves. Great. If we do this to ourselves, who else can save us? It's kind of putting a spin on something tough, and that empowers you. So I guess making fun of something, not making fun, laughing about something is not really degrading it in any way. You still appreciate and respect your experiences, of course, but once again, when you laugh at life's troubles, it just takes away the seriousness out of it. And I suppose that's somewhat a little bit needed, especially when we have the 9 of Swords and 5 of Swords, kind of relieving the mind of the tension and overthinking in any case. Okay. For example, like you're going for something new and then like, okay, I'm really scared. Right, that it happens when we're doing something brand new. But the comic would be like, are we scared again? Are we going to do this again? Are we going to stop ourselves again? Is this the whole self-sabotage thing once more? In a very jokey way. It's not trying to be like, hey, are you doing that again? Is that really where you want to be headed? It's not that serious. You get my point, right? So the decluttering and the having fun along the journey is super important. Like, remember the time when we were teenagers and we did this, that was so stupid, or that was so fun. Whatever it is, you keep or you put away. Either way, you decide its place, and that helps you it helps your mind reprioritize or organize its thoughts and behaviors. And it also isolates objects from that phase of life, which means it's a memory, and there's nothing wrong with memory. But when you identify it as it belongs to that phase in time, you're less likely to carry it forward into other phases of your life. And that's super important, right? Especially when we're trying to create something different for us. Okay, then let's see your astro dice. Let's see what else we have. Kind reviewers, please. We have 5th house, Saturn, and Pisces. I have this exact same combination, by the way. All right, so Saturn in Pisces is interesting. The 5th house talks about humor, and Saturn is the tough times in life. Perhaps there were some childhood difficulties and the same tendencies kind of keep continuing. And fifth house takes on a lighter turn to that. Okay, so not, yes, it happened in the past, and we need to not discredit it entirely, because first of all we can't, and second, what would be the point of that? But instead we learned everything we needed to learn, or we are learning, so it's okay. We don't need to be hard on ourselves right now in this very moment. If you don't want the past to repeat, don't bring it with you into the future. Not in thought, not in emotion, not in action, none of that. All right. Now Pisces talks about surrendering, sacrificing, releasing, and lightening up the load. It's delegating the things that are not controlled by you to something greater than you. And in your case, you literally have star support. It's the universe reaching out that, hey, I'm gonna help. What do you want me to help with? Okay, that's literally what this gives me, this whole energy. And Saturn is a guide. He's a disciplinarian for sure, but he's also a very strong, concise guide. If you ask for guidance seriously, he's going to give you an answer that you cannot shake off from your mind, okay? So forming a relationship with the planet or the archetype of Saturn, or connecting with higher authorities within your life, who you respect and you connect with, that you can reach out to them, ask for advice and things like that, which can really help you lighten up your own load. Taking on the parenting role for yourself. So if there are some difficulties from childhood that are carrying over, then Saturn indicates taking responsibility and accountability to heal those things, because now you're not in that space, therefore it does not need to continue. Take the lessons and move on from the rest, because we don't need that dead weight anymore. We don't need that. Okay? What else? Yeah, like I said, literal law of attraction and manifestation can help you out, for real. Because Saturn is materializing something, and in Pisces, it's like it makes something very intangible and immaterial, something that never existed, into something very, very real and tangible. Okay? So yeah, it can seem very impossible in the space, in the zodiac, but it is literally very possible. And it can also be that you have practiced law of attraction when you were a child without even realizing, and it's kind of think back to those things, and perhaps you can draw something from that experience. It can be by, again, making fun of something, saying something funnily. You don't mean it when you say it, but then when you think about it, when you say it out loud, you're like, I would like that in my life. Sure. And then through that play acting, you made a lot of things happen and manifest in your life. Yeah, play acting. Perhaps that is something that resonates for some of you here. Yeah, that is a very nice way to just release the expectation and the pressure from yourself, have fun, and in that process itself, you end up manifesting, basically. Okay, or if it floats your boat, then you can do the traditional law of attraction techniques. There are many out there, you can search about them. And yes, whatever resonates with you, have full faith, go with it, be steady, every day put in the effort, don't give up, you will make it happen. All right. And Saturn is very good in terms of authority and leadership positions. So if you do something that you enjoy, there is a very good chance you become an authority in it when we have this combination. Okay, so that's what I have for you, Pile 3. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that it helps you out. Let me know your thoughts, and if you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box in the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye. Hi Pile 4, welcome to your reading. We will see how you can manifest your ideal career life. So let's see your tarot, then we get into your oracle and your astrology. We have the Page of Pentacles coming up first. Then we have the Hanged Man. Interesting. Okay. Then we have the Queen of Cups. Some of you might be healers. And we have the Ace of Wands. Okay, creatives and healers. Apart from that, this indicates taking a course of some sort. Page of Pentacles is about being open to learning and discovering new things. It also indicates that you have a lot of skills and talents that deserve to be awoken and honed, basically. They're essential keys and resources that are going to be useful for a better career life for you. So yes, whatever it is that you are curious about, don't be ashamed, don't avoid it, just go for it. And I feel like the hangman is indicating that certain commitments might need to be released here. It indicates certain things that are toxic and blind you, kind of suffocate you in some way, need to be released at this time so that you can make more space for the things that you're actually curious about. The Queen of Cups indicates acting with compassion, and also the Hangman indicates pause and patience, reflection as well. So perhaps some of you need to introspect as well to figure out what exactly you're looking for, in terms of what ignites you, what you're curious about, what brings you more life and joy, and also makes you feel more in flow and harmony with yourself and your life in general. The Queen of Cups also talks about connecting with your higher self or your spirit or the higher realms, whatever it is that you choose to connect with at this time, in order to get some insight. Both the Hangman and Queen of Cups talk about heightened intuition, and that your emotions and your higher mind, i.e. when you are sleeping, dream symbolism, or when you're meditating, certain feelings and intuition that come through is going to be very active. If not already, then it will be very soon, and that has the answers. Basically, what I'm getting, that if you are asking the question sincerely to the universe and to yourself, you will for sure receive an answer. The Ace of Wands indicates that you have creative, passionate, and career skills that are really good for, business and future endeavors of any type. It gives you a lot of self-empowerment, or it just indicates that you have a lot of power within you and it's ready to be harnessed. The aces talk about potential and they're not yet fully expressed, and it is kind of dependent on the person who beholds it to express it to a larger degree by practicing, by meditating on it, or by focusing on it, learning about it, also practicing on it in a very practical sense. For example, if you have an inclination towards music, it is likely that you have a talent for music, but it is hidden, and because you have not yet expressed it. And the Hangman also talks about latent abilities. There are things that are yet to be discovered and explored, which are going to lead to your ideal career path. And yes, it is going to be different for each and every one of you, because we're talking about looking within and asking your intuition. Page of Pentacles talks about a literal handiwork, or like something tangible. Okay, so once again, taking the music example, getting a guitar or buying a keyboard, or if you have a piano nearby, then learning the music sheets and going ahead and practicing that. Or if it is some arts and crafts, then you're doing that by hand. There's nothing theoretical when it comes to Page of Pentacles. Of course, we might have an inner inclination that is not backed up by anything we have previously done, but that does not mean you don't already have that skill. The Hangman also indicates that, take a pause and reflect. If you feel like it's very busy nowadays, then, you deserve a break. Take a break so that you can recuperate, basically. Okay, resting, releasing, all of those things are related to this. And don't resist. That's the point with all of these cards, honestly, is about no resistance. There's no point in resisting something that already is, because many times we know what we want, but because it is so far away from what we're actually doing right now, we become afraid of what it might take to reach to our actual goals, and that is what scares us. And then we resist it, and we're like, okay, no, but I know, but what about something closer to what I'm already doing? It's kind of comfort zone adjacent in that case, right? But the Hangman can indicate that it might be a completely outside of your comfort zone type of thing that you're looking for deep down, and you might be inhibiting that or resisting that because it does not make sense at this point in time. Perhaps that is so, but regardless, the indication is that if you're looking for that ideal career life, it might be really outside that comfort zone. And once again, this is something you already know deep down. So if you kind of tune into your own intuition or your heart, whatever it is you rely upon more, you will be able to understand where it is and what it is actually that wants to come out. Apart from that, pausing for inspiration is as well. So if you're already in the desired path, you're doing something you're passionate about and you're looking for more inspiration, and that's kind of missing at this time, this says don't force it. Just take a break, do something else, do something more tangible, perhaps do some gardening or something else, again, with your hands physically, not thinking so much, not feeling so much, not really. Just let the feelings and emotions come as they come. Don't try to induce something at this time, and the inspiration and creative spark is going to come about naturally. Okay, then we have binary star. Very nice. This indicates working with other people. In the very beginning, I was saying that some of you might be healers, so it can be healing others, purge their, fears, insecurities, and resistances in general. But it could be you going through the same journey and eventually becoming a healer or teacher. This also says work with someone in a team, in a group project perhaps, or learn from someone else who is a little bit more experienced and is a compassionate teacher or leader that you already know of. Even if you come across them newly, you find that they're very nice to talk to, or they're a good teacher, so you're open to learning from them. In that case, don't run away from the opportunity, go towards it, because it's very likely it's going to be harmonious. Then we have X-rays, which talks about seeing beyond what is obvious. Okay, so what is obvious is the physical, tangible constraints, restrictions, obligations, etc. that we have to deal with every now and then. But X-rays is what is beyond that. What's the intention? Why is this happening? And what is the driving force? What, by taking care of others, what is it that you are gaining? Because every relationship that we form, even the ones that we're trying to get away from, has something that is feeding into us. Okay, not without our will. There is a desire in the backdrop that is wanting to maintain that relationship. Otherwise, the relationship itself would not remain. That just does not form in the first place. So there is something that is a give and take within certain relationships. Perhaps you need to examine those things if you're unhappy with any of them. This includes your authority relationships and also your colleagues and co-workers or juniors, depending on what position you're in. All right, because there might be more indicators of what is a resistance, because if you're not wanting for that to happen, maybe there's something to be resolved there, and the moment it is resolved, the lessons are learned, it's natural to kind of outgrow your life circumstances, right? So take what you need to take and then move on from it, basically. But if we try to resist what is already happening, then we won't get what the situation or the people are trying to teach us in that given moment. X-rays also talks about listening to your intuition about who you need to pair up with if you are wanting to pair up with someone. Apart from that, listen to your intuition as to what it is that is feeling very aligned and inspiring to you at this time. Okay, in order to listen to your intuition, you can, again, for you specifically, it says stop trying to listen to your intuition. Just do something else that takes you out of your mind, takes you out of your usual humdrum, and leaves you in a moment of just doing something, just being, that kind of vibe. That's when the intuition will come by very naturally, because it's something that's there in each and every one of us. So yeah, we can naturally tap into it even if we don't try. So yes, that's what's coming through. Then we have Raven, which says the universe is calling you to notice important synchronicities. Yes, you might be seeing certain numbers. I see 11 and 1. So 111, 1111, these things could be showing up in your environment. It can also be that you are thinking of something and then someone else talks about it, or you read about it in a book. Perhaps you're wondering, okay, I need to heal myself, but I don't really know how. And then you just search about something, but it takes you somewhere else. And in an unexpected blog or pin or something, you find someone else's opinion that resonates even more. So it's a whole hopping situation. You go from one point to another, and in the end you end up in a completely different place, but it ends up being the most useful thing that you could ever find, and that helps you heal. So that can be a synchronistic event or a series of events that take place that take you to the place where you will find the most useful information for your situation. And ravens come with a lot of spiritual guidance, teaching, and also intuitive nudges as well. So your higher mind, your spirit guides, your spirit team overall is wanting to give you certain messages. Okay, then we have the Wren, which says, be bold and confident, use all of your resources to create your dreams. Yes. Now, the Page of Pentacles can talk about some positive news coming about regarding money and other tangible skills, assets, resources. Also, it can talk about confidence in your own skills and resources, okay? So the Wren is reminding you to be bold and confident about those things. Don't doubt yourself. Just use whatever you have to create your dreams at this time. This is especially true if you know what it is deep down that you want to be doing at this time, but you're kind of hesitant to really implement those things. The Wren is reminding you to be bold about it and just go for it, basically. Okay. Ace of Wands also brings about a boost of motivation, inspiration, courage, resolution as well. That, you know, if you have a will, you will find a way, and that the spirit world is literally helping you right now. Okay, there are like multiple indicators that suggest that. Okay, then we have Mars, which says passion, anger, action, courage, desire, and competition. Okay, we talked about this energy a lot, basically. It says like forward driving motion. Take initiative in the direction that you want and then go for that. Don't hesitate, don't overthink, release the resistances. Okay, release the resistances. I keep hearing that. There's no point in holding yourself back. Go for it, and I think you will find the mentors if that's what you need along the journey, or the right articles, right material, right courses, and so on along the way. But it's important to get going already. Okay, and this is especially true if you already know. Okay, I'm gonna emphasize that. If that's not the case, then this is being driven to find a passion. All right, look for that, taking initiative to make that career ideal happen, basically. Then we have the Sun, which says ego, stamina, consciousness, and father figure. It also relates with authority and leadership, self-confidence, and willpower. So yes, 2 willpower planets, luminary, coming up here, which it's kind of just further emphasizing the Ace of Wands. It says that you have a lot of courage, you have so much energy, you have a lot of vitality, and it wants to be channeled. So don't waste it in the form of resistance or not doing anything about it, because it is only going to come out in the form of anger and frustration. That's what happens when we try to suppress our active energy. It will still be active, but it will show up internally because it doesn't have an outlet. All right. So yes, it's important to channel yourself. Then we have the 2nd house, which relates with money, also other things we value in life, and connects with the resources we have available. So that with the be bold and confident is again saying that you have a lot of worth, you're worthy of your success, and your there was a specific word that was coming to me. Yes, your ideals, your dreams, your financial goals. Yes, all of those things are absolutely possible, within reach, but it requires you to take initiative towards that direction. Don't stop yourself before you even begin. And where there is a will, there is a way. There's a lot of support. If your intuition pulls you in a certain direction, go for it. Don't stop yourself. That's kind of the summary that I'm getting so far. And work with other people, take advice from other more knowledgeable people if that's something that's needed at this time for you. Then we have the Queen coming up. Okay, so we have 2 queens here, Queen of Cups, and this one here. So I'm inclined to say that it is a mirroring energy once more. But more than that, this archetype alone talks about prosperity, elegance, grace, patience, compassion, rebirth, regeneration, giving birth to new ideas, holding the energy, giving it space to cultivate, multiply, channel, and so on. Okay. The Queen, the divine feminine, the royal feminine, is basically the space, and she's the expression as well. It's kind of the vibe that you feel around you, changing the mood. If you're feeling low and down, then how can you expect inspiration to come by, right? So shifting yourself out of that space and entering a different space where you feel more transcendent, as if you kind of let the material aspects fall away. That's where you will find more clarity. Both of these cards again talk about letting that material side of things, the mundane humdrum type of concerns, let be. Even if it's for 5 minutes a day, 10 minutes a day, it doesn't matter. It's very potent, so it doesn't matter how much time you specifically spend in that moment, but that intuition or that spark that comes through is potent enough. It will be potent enough that you are spurred into action. Over time, it will just become a momentum where you're gathering more inspiration, and at some point it's just, okay, you know what, I have to do this. I have enough courage, I just have to do it. It will still be a little bit scary if you're making a very drastic move, but that does not stop you anymore. And that's the point. That's the stage that we're wanting to reach here. Okay, like I had a job and then I took a part-time, and shifting from a full-time to part-time itself was so difficult. I thought, oh, is this the right choice? What if I can't go back to being full-time? I really like this and I want to keep doing this, but you know, this is more secure. It makes more sense for right now, and so on. But honestly, it will keep making sense if we kind of keep going there. But I just kept praying and meditating, and I was like, I don't know what to do. I feel a little bit stuck. I feel restless and frustrated with my situation, and I don't really know what would be the exact wise choice to make in my circumstance. Okay, and ultimately I didn't get a direct answer right then, but over time, when I kept asking, there was a day when I was like, you know what, I have a very strong feeling I just have to do this. I just have to do it. And even then I procrastinated sending that email for like a week. But after that week, I was like, you know what, done and dusted. I just have to do this right now. And the same situation followed, a little bit more dragged out, honestly, when I left the job and I pursued this tarot for full time, right? So it does take time, and it's okay to be concerned if you're making a large change, but don't stop yourself in that point. Ask for clarity, ask for help, ask for answers. You know, there are so many people out there who have gone through similar things. There are so many resources out there, even if you don't find valid opinions for your circumstance. If all else fails, ask Spirit, your own self, for guidance, because that will for sure have the answer, right? So the Queen makes that space, allows for the other queen-like energies of the universe, which are not material, which are intangible, to come through and make sense for her, to allow the support to come through. Okay, next we have the Sustainer. That's very nice. It's basically preserving something, and I will say that this is talking about preserving your sense of self-worth, your confidence and grace. Don't be disheartened. That's what I'm getting the most. It also says work on things that you already believe you have a latent ability in. Like I said, you have skills, you have talents, and the Sustainer is kind of working through them, molding it to make it better and better and better. It's kind of an iterative process, sort of, kind of fixing the kinks all the time. Each time there's a cyclical process going on, and eventually it leads to the most perfect manifestation of the universe itself, or in your case, the skill itself, your confidence in it, and so on. Keep working on it, don't give up. That's basically the point here. Okay. What else can we get for pile 4? How can they manifest their ideal career in life? If you're working with affirmations, then keep at it again. Keep fueling it, faith. It will happen. Gemini, 5th house, and the South Node. Yeah, South Node again talks about releasing, and Gemini can talk about mindsets and the words that we say to ourselves. Ace of Wands is about writing certain things down. Perhaps scripting will be a good choice for you, or writing affirmations multiple times a day. That could be a thing that works for you. And even then, it's not just important that we just keep writing and repeating the same words, but we have to look at what's behind that. What's our intention? When we say I am this, are we secretly thinking, yeah, but I'm not, right? And do we keep feeling that, because in the beginning it might happen that we have some remnants of negativity, and because we don't see that in our material world, and that's fine. But over time we need to work on those things, kind of transform that as well. So whatever resistances are there in your mind, in your words, in your environment, the local people, the community that you surround yourself with, it's important to acknowledge those things and release those things whenever it is possible. So like I said, if you can't literally get out of your environment, then it's important to mentally or emotionally escape, so to say, in order to tap into something more, okay? Basically, the point is outgrow and transcend your circumstances. That's what is being asked of you. And resistance has no place in this whole process here, okay? If you outgrow, you will naturally move out of your situation if that's what you want. All right. And again, if you're in something you're already enjoying and you're not feeling inspired at this moment, then don't resist it. Take a break. Leave it for some time. Allow it to come organically. Don't keep it in your mind that, oh, I cannot get inspired anymore. I don't have creativity anymore. I don't have any ideas anymore. Don't keep repeating that to yourself. Be like, I don't have ideas right now, but I can take a break and see what else is out there. Going out in nature, spending some time by yourself. All these things can be very, very useful. Fifth house talks about inner child work. So for some of you, there might be healing needing to be done from way back, from your childhood. Or this can talk about delving into creative hobbies and other interests that you're passionate about, which can bring in some other resources, other possibilities for you. Gemini is a mutable sign, so it can talk about having two sources, two mindsets. So maybe you can make two spaces at this point in time. This can be a temporary solution, honestly, but it will lead to a more permanent answer. For example, you're going to work, perhaps the environment is not so great, but you don't have to bring that with you when you're at home. So taking some active time and effort to release those energies before you enter the house, or after you enter the house, maybe washing your face and washing your hands, getting just refreshed in general, letting that old vibe kind of stay out so that you can make more space for something that you actually enjoy. And over time, that thing that you enjoy is going to become more and more part of your primary profession or your primary career life in general. Yes, okay, so that's what I have for you, pile 4. Thank you so much for being here. I really hope the reading resonated and that it helps you out. Let me know your thoughts, and if you want a personal reading, you can reach me via Etsy. The link is in the description box in the comment below. I will see you some other time. Until then, take care. Bye.